Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and just look at our new interior. So I thought I would show you what I've done over the last few days. There's been a lot of changes on the interior, and then if you want to, you can watch the whole video, or you might want to skip to different sections. But let me just tell you what we've done. So we've got our new chubby box fitted, and that is in there, and it's called a chubby box because it's got a higher arm rest, and that works brilliantly on these seats because I've actually fitted a seat riser as well. Now, going on the inside, you'll notice we've also got our window trims fitted, look, and they look brilliant. They were an absolute peg to fit, partly my fault, but also it was made worse because I had to try and fabricate them to make sure that the rear seat belts would fit. And then we've got this gorgeous headliner, which wasn't a pain in the arse to fit at all. It was actually really easy and it looks beautiful. Let me go around the back and I'll show you a little bit more detail. Another thing I fitted is a rear door card, and let me tell you, that was probably the most annoying thing I fitted on this vehicle. It looks great now, but it took a bit of an effort to get that on. We've got our strong arm gas strut, which you just saw working there, look, because it's absolutely so easy to open and close this door now. So you literally just give it a little touch, and there we go. So that's all in. And there we go, you can see the cubby box from the rear. So the work that I had to do here for the seat belts, they will be tidied up with some trim to make them look nice, but they all work and they're all functional. And this kit isn't actually designed to work with seat belts, but I managed to get it to go. And if it's something you want to do, you can see from the video, but I've tried to cover it in doing it in both ways. We've got our trim there, and also we've trimmed out the back panels because we don't have any quarter lights. So I've just put a trim on the inside there, some sound deadening, just to clean things up. Just to recap, in this video we're going to be looking at fitting the chubby box, the seat risers, the window trims, the headliner, the door card, and the strong arm gas strut. Not everything's in detail, but it will give you an idea of how everything went together. Okay guys, this box has got my name written all over it. I mean, literally, it's there, so it's mine. And it's our headliner from Volt. Now, I've not seen one of these yet. We've sold a lot of them, but they do get dispatched direct. So getting to handle one of these is a rare thing. Now, I'm told in here is a full black headliner with Alpine blanks and a matching set of sun visors. So really excited to get into this. It's going to transform and complete the interior. Can't wait. Let's get it unboxed. Right, so in here we should have, these look like the blanks for the Alpine lights. Now, we would have liked to have put Alpine lights in our truck, but I just wasn't confident in cutting the roof. I really wasn't. It's so easy to get the tolerances wrong and for the glass to be sloppy inside there. It just wasn't something I was prepared to do. So it's something that could be done in the future, and all that would be required is you just take these. Oh, they're actually quite nice. Look, they're like sound deadening. Look how thick they are. So these are infills for the set for the Alpine lights, and they'll go inside. So, you know, whoever has this vehicle can choose, if they want, to add the Alpine lights. They just pop those out. Job's a good one. Right, let me get this all unbagged and then we'll get stuck in. Now, getting the front headliner in is a lot easier than the rear. You just literally have to have the seats as far back as possible in the front, slide it in, and then just offer it up. Now, I found it a lot easier with a bit of help, so I got someone just to support it at the back while I used the supplied screws with the sun visors that we got in this kit, just to actually pin the front onto the front of the vehicle. So it's all pinned at the front, and then I just used the fir tree clips that are supplied and just knocked a couple of those in, as you can see here, just 2 of them in to start with, just to get it supported, and then we were all done. So once you've got your sun visors in, that obviously supports the front of the headliner. And then you can just see at the back there me sliding the rear headliner in, which is tricky with those 2 seats in, but you have to have your seats folded forward, and then you can slide it in and just prop it up on top of the headrests of the front seats there. Now again, really you need another person to help with this last piece. The actual rear headliner is self-supporting as far as getting it installed. So it just basically, you lift it up and hook it over the edge trim of the roof. So you can see here, I've got Reese is just holding it up for me while I'm just tucking it into those rails there. Now there is a single hole in the middle, which is a little bit difficult to find, but if you can locate it and just use a spike to puncture through that headliner, you can just get a fir tree clip in there and you just tap it into place, and that will actually support the middle of the rear headliner as far as you need to, just while you're waiting to then put a couple of fir tree clips at the front. And then just checking that those infill strips fit, which they do. There's two ways you can actually install those. The best way is actually to have the angle facing outwards, and then they tuck in really nicely. Just noticed on these little fir tree clips, if you can see them, they've actually got like a felt cover. Look how they're actually trimmed. That is attention to detail. It really is. So hopefully you can see that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 mounting points here. And the nice thing is, this has actually got dimples in it for our grab handles. I'm going to need those because when I fit the gas strut assist, the strong arm strut assist for the back door. Oh, I like to put some big blocky foam either side of this. And there, so that when this is up in place, it can't go backwards. I think that's something that's worth doing. At the moment, it just sort of floats there. It's not going to go anywhere, but, you know, it does look tidy. Let me see if I can come up. Something like that would have been nice, just behind it. Let me have a look. Right, I found some of this closed cell foam. It's too thick at the moment, but this is going to be just what I'm looking for, actually, to go up there. Just going to cut it. It's crude, I know. There we go. It's a treat. Just cut the corner off. Okay. I think that's what my glow lights come in. So, you know, obviously you're going to have to buy a whole pack of glow lights for this, or just use some regular polystyrene. That's what I've done. So look. Just sits in there, nice and tidy, both sides. I don't even think I have to glue it in. I was going to glue it in, but I don't think I need to. I've got my holes in place. Behind here are the holes that I've used to mount my gas strut assist, and we're going to be putting that on there. So that's where that sits, and that'll hold that in place. So one of the key things is installing these mud window trims. Now these go obviously on the interior of the vehicle, around the windows where we've cut the holes. Now we put these on originally so we could mark the holes for the windows so everything lined up. So we know that everything, touch wood, is in the right place. Now there's quite a lot of assembly in these kits. It's an aftermarket product, but the instructions are very good, which is more than I can say for my microphone because it decided to pack in just for this little section here. So I'll give you a little voiceover. Just me talking about how these panels are actually soft touch rather than just hard plastic, which is a really nice feature. And one thing that we have to do, which I did really struggle with if I'm honest, and I was using the wrong nozzle on my air riveter, and I think that's why I wasn't getting a really good purchase on the rivets, which you'll see in just a second. So you get these little caps, plastic caps that you have to slide over the rivets, and then you just mount those brackets into position. Unfortunately, they didn't grab well enough and they just wobbled about. I got round this by using some Tiger Seal, which worked really well, and that just held them in position, but it was clear later on that they weren't a very good fit because one of them did break off and I had to actually re-rivet the whole lot with a 4mm rivet, which I'll explain in just a second. So the next thing we're going to have to do is just wrap these in some of the supplied foam, and that is just to make sure that they don't rattle. Now obviously all this looks fairly familiar. This is very similar to what you get in an OE or a genuine kit. You've got these little spacer blocks which go into here, and that's what you fix through into the capping. Now the only thing I'm going to have to wait for is for these to go off. I'm going to have to put a little bit more on that one actually. They've actually got little holes at the front, so that's good because you can squeeze it through. Again, I did say we're not sponsored by Rover, but this tool, this electric tool, was 69 quid if you've already got a battery and charger, which I've got on my cordless ratchet. So I just bought the body only, 69 quid. Absolute bargain. Right, because we've had to glue these ones in, I'm going to put this to one side and then have a crack at the other one. Right, I'm going to do the same again with my rivets. Let's see if we can get these ones to take a little bit better, shall we? Because we got one good one. We'll give it a real good push this time. Solid. I think that's the trick. You've got to really push them together. Now I've got one more little white thing to find on here. Right, we are going to have a go at doing the rear quarter panels now. So, a bit of drilling required before we use the rivet gun. And I'm just hoping we don't have the same problems we had before with it being loose, but we'll try. So, 3mm drill bit, and you'll see on the panels, we've actually got some dimples on here to show where we drill through. I don't want to have to do this twice. Drilling out a rivet out of this plastic is going to be a nightmare. So let's try and make sure we get all the right clips in the right place. So 2 different types. That should sit there like that. Much better. Right, and then these ones have a recess in them, and that goes to the outside edge. There we go, there we have it. So you can see what we've got. 2 here that clip on the inside. These catch, we have to put these clips into there. Where are they? These ones. And they clip onto there, just like OEM. So it's all pretty good stuff. Now, put these finishing caps on. Oh, I forgot one, look. What a muppet. We'll have to stick that one on. That's a shame. I was doing such a perfect job as well. Two over. 3. Just broken off. Those 2 are fine. That one broke. See? I've gone again because those rivets were not strong enough. I've used black rivets, and I can still glue the little caps over the top. It's not a problem. But I've used 4mm rivets instead of 3mm. Because there's a lot of pressure on these clips to get them in. Right, we've got a bolt set, and we've got this captive plate, and that sits inside our rail. And there's going to be a lot of guesswork here, because once you start doing them up, you're going to have to do it by hand just to feel your way around. And this one, you don't go underneath. The very forward one, you have to go in from the side. Like so. Brilliant. Now we've got a little hole here for a fir tree clip, but I can't see one's going to go in. But anyway, and now we just lined up for our seat belt, which we've got down here. So the front seat belt will help hold that on, and it has got still the packed out washer on it, so it should sit proud. And now when we put our upper trim in there, it's going to tuck in really nicely. Look behind there. Look at that. In fact, that's the wrong way around. It's going to go in like that. Oh, that is really nice. Look at that. So it is on good and strong. I don't even think I'm going to bother with those little caps, because I think the black rivets actually look good enough, because you've got these black things here. I don't think they're covered up by anything. Right, I've got everything marked up now, as you can see. So just to give you an idea, the way I've done it is with a jigsaw. Now, on the corners, and just to make you know, you do have to fit those on there, but these two you don't have to fit if you're doing what I'm doing and fitting the seat belts. So, just going to screw in, drill in here. For the corner radiuses. It just means I can get the jigsaw around everything. So I run this really slowly as well. Obviously it doesn't take much to cut through the plastic. So I fiddled around with my cutouts for the reel at the bottom and the attachment at the top, and I want the belt to sort of flow down the back here. So I'm happy with how it works now. It's taken a lot of sorting out, but gives you an idea of what you have to cut out. So I'm now going to mark the bottom one to match the top one, and I should be ready to go. So as far as the rear quarter goes, you can see I've done a matching bit at the bottom, and I've cut out at the top for the swivel bracket at the top. So I'm now going to copy that over to my other one before I then put everything together. Well, throwing a bit of light on the subject now, and you can see we have got both the sides in and they look really good. The only thing I'd say is it's a shame they're possibly not black, but that's what we're stuck with at the moment. We don't have black on the market, so we've got the grey. I mean, obviously if I turn the light down, that's what they look like, and I think they look really nice. Some trims on this screw would have been a nice touch, but we don't get any of those. These did go on fine. I did find on the other side I had to redo the whole thing with standard bigger rivets just because they wouldn't hold. So I think what I did on this one, and I left them for a bit actually overnight, I used the Tiger Seal to just bond in those brackets as well as the rivets, and that worked a lot better. So that's what I would do. I wouldn't rush it. I would do them that way, the way the instructions tell you, but also add some Tiger Seal or some bonding agents, some araldite or something onto the brackets to give them an extra bit of strength, because you have to flex them quite a lot, and there's quite a lot of pressure on there, especially with this thicker headliner from Volt. Because it's really tight, there's no gap there at all, so it does push things out. And on that note, it does push these Alpine trim fills in really nicely, so everything's just nice and snug. Now again, it is pretty dark in there, but I think that's a nice place to be. Just going to do the door card now for the Safari door, but all in all, I like the way you get a bit of extra room. I don't mind the fact, some people have commented that you don't get a gangway through those two seats. But I quite like having the extra space either side. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. I know it's obviously not that convenient, but neither way really is super convenient. But that is the trim in now. So I've got a couple of lights to fit, cubby box to go in, and then we're done. Right, I'm going to be fitting this door card onto the back here. This is a later type with a nice little neck on there. So all I've got to do is get the right clips. No. Right, so I was going to use these clips, but they don't reach far enough out from the panel. So I've had a little look and I found these ones, and you can see they'll sit further out. They're not long enough either. Right, in true rugged guide fashion, I've basically squished a washer onto a fir tree clip to make my own little clips, and they should go in enough. success. And the nice thing is, as I said before, I can put a handle on there and that's going to hold it in a treat. There we go. Got a little infill piece that goes in here. That doesn't want to clear the handle. And it looks like you're just supposed to glue it in because there's nothing to... Oh, I've got to modify that as well. Okay, I'm going to have to cut that down. One piece trimmed. Jesus Christ, it catches on there now. Okay, I don't like this part. It's the first part I've ever fitted. It looks great, but what a faff. I don't even know who makes this part. I just don't like it. Now, if this comes out in the same episode as the door seals, which I don't think it does, I think it's in the other one, but it's a testament to what I said before. To buy aftermarket, you have got to mess about something wicked. If that goes in there, that now fits and works. But I did not enjoy doing that. Good. Now I will say it looks great, but a couple of things I would do if I did it again. I would put Dynamat inside it because it sounds pretty horrible, and a bit of Dynamat would have really given that some substance. I don't want to take it off again because fitting it was a massive pain in the bum, but it is in. It's nicely finished all the way round. I think it's going to be all right once I get the handle on, but the trouble is it's barely lining up. What a shame, because it looks really nice. Okay, so getting the door handle on made a huge difference to the security of this door card, and although it was tricky, I'm not sure if it was supposed to have clips in it, because when I picked it up from stores, it looked like it had been returned by somebody because it had a little tiny mark on it here, and it might have had some clips that have gone missing, so I might have just made my life difficult by using something that was slightly marked, but there you go. It was the only one that we had left in stock, and it was the one I wanted to fit. So if it comes with clips, all is forgiven, and I'm sure it's a lot of an easier fit. But this bit here was a pain because it just didn't fit. It was too close, so that's all had to be trimmed out as well. But I'm pleased with how it looks now, and the handles made a big difference, as I said. So we fit the strong arm gas strut, which you just saw. Now, I haven't covered the fitment of that in the video because I've got other videos of where I've done that. But this is the new type, which has got slots. So you can see this little slot here, and also there's a little slot at the back, which means that you can adjust the angle of that to suit your door, because all the doors are different on different vehicles. And you can also adjust the gas strut here so that if you find when you shut your door, it stops on the gas strut, you just need to relocate that to further away, and that eliminates that problem. So that's something we've learned, and we've made details and addressed that. We've got the headliner all in. Now I'm going to mention on the headliner, you've got one little fixing point here, which is recessed. You can feel there's a little dimple in the headliner, and you just poke it with a spike to get that to go in. And that does hold this up nicely, especially when you fit the light as well, which is screwed into the support rail in the roof. At the front, I did have to add two little fir tree clips. I had to remove them from the front and put them through both just to make sure they all sat nicely, but it wasn't a big deal and it went in lovely. Do still have to do the rear view mirror there, but I'm super happy. Oh, now I need to mention as well, on these seats, a little issue we did have on the trims. So in the kit, you don't get any covers for these screws. And to be fair, the original kit that you get from Land Rover doesn't have any covers for these either. But what was happening, look, is we were getting a mark, a really nasty mark actually, from that screw. So what I did is actually put a rubber cap on. So although it is marking the leather slightly, it's not going to tear into it, which is what it almost did. So that is a bit of a design flaw. If I'm honest, I don't think it's the side trim's fault. I think it's the seat's fault because they fold up too close. So you might want to put some sort of stopper or a buffer on there just to make sure you look after your seats. Now, I don't want to make excuses for the quality of this video, but I will say that obviously I've been having my treatment for the last 3 weeks while I was doing this, which is radiotherapy treatment. It does make you really tired. And I've struggled a little bit, but I wanted to get this done because this is now pretty much finished. I had some technical issues with the microphone and it was just, you know, a bit of a chore, if I'm honest. It's the first time I've really struggled with doing stuff to a vehicle because everything was fighting me and I just wasn't really strong enough to just get over it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. There is some detail in there I think you'll find useful. And I think it's just nice to sort of finish the journey a little bit with some of the details and some of the trim. But I'm pleased it's all gone together and the truck is looking really nice. Now, the next time we come back to this truck is going to be on the rolling road. I need to take it out for a shakedown drive, make sure everything's okay. Then we're going to get it on the rolling road and get it tuned. So that'll be something to look forward to. And my treatment finishes in about 3 days. So give myself another week to recover. If you want to look at any of the products that we've actually fitted in today's video, I'm going to list them all at the end of this so you can see every part as it's offered on the lrparts.net website. If you want that part, all you have to do is click the link below, go straight to the website, search for it under its part number, and then we will ship worldwide. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.